Let's try that. Ah, yes, got you now. We're all working. We're live. Spooky, spooky, spooky music. For a spooky show. We should do, shouldn't we? What a beauty. Here we go. Yeah. I think the demographics are Dom, Wesley, and 2 other people. Oh shit! Dom Elfkicker says TBC. Is it Ted Bundy celebration? No, it's not Ted Bundy celebration. But have you heard who died today, Hobbit? Close. OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson kicked the bucket today. The old OJ, who didn't do it, and he did a book that if he didn't do it, this is not what would have happened. Do you remember his book, How I Didn't Do It? Yeah. Yeah, the murder what I didn't do. I absolutely didn't do this murder, but this is how I did the murder that I didn't do. So I can't have done. Is Fraser war cracking again? Because I'm sure there's some. No. No. Well, he's online. He's online, so he might pop in a minute. But yeah, so Wesley says he can't hear Hobbit. I think you might be a bit on the quiet side, Hobbit. Speak. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I think no, everything should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay then. Oh dear. Yeah, because voice meter started being a fucking knobhead. Oh yeah. Hold on. I think that's an easy. No, that should be. Right, so I should. This is being a fucking dickhead, isn't it? Yeah. Let's try restart. Right, so speak Hobbit. It's weird. You're being picked up on voice meter. Yeah. What's yeah? Because I can see Discord on the thing, on the doofer. But actually, this is being all gay. Yeah. Right, let's try. I'll tell you what, I know what to do. I think I know what to do. Yeah. Right, hold on 1 sec. Voice and video. Does everybody really love the way? Try that now. See if anybody can hear you, Hobbit.
Right. So here's me talking, and oh, good. Well, that's not something to do with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on talking in the meantime, because you never know. Me talking as you carry on, you'll eventually go.
I can hear you now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing with settings, but for some reason it's being really, really stupid. it says Discord. Can everybody hear Hobbit now? Can anybody hear Hobbit yet? That's. Oh, you could hear him for a bit, but now he's gone. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why is it doing it? Because according to everything I can see, this should all be working fine. We could hear him when you couldn't. Oh, okay, then I think I know what the problem is then. I think I know. Audio. Yeah, Mike. This is really fucking pissing me off now. Can't hear anything now. Well, I gotta get this fucker sorted. Oh, jeez. Right, so voice meter output, desktop audio. Nobody can hear that you're in. Nobody can hear that, Hobbit. No. Nobody can't hear anything. Right, so what the fuck has gone wrong here? Now Rumble's being all fucking gay and won't play back to me. But yeah, Wesley and two others. See, I can't hear the stream back to me either. Oh, won't. So is there nothing the stream coming out either? Oh, won't. So is there nothing coming out either? Fucking voice meter, just go fuck itself. Oh, won't. So is there nothing coming out either? Fucking voice meter, just go fuck itself.
And if I click on that, there we go. Fortean Words is live.
Coming out,
I can hear myself on YouTube, but not Rumble. Fortean Words is live. I can hear myself on YouTube, but not. I heard myself on YouTube. I can hear myself on YouTube. I just go on. I heard myself on YouTube. Live. And yeah, I can hear myself on YouTube. I just go on. Hey, Tactical Droid. Let's just have a listen on the YouTube to that. It says it's live, and no, there's nothing. It's just have a listen on the YouTube. Oh yeah, I can hear me talking. Yeah, so I heard me there. Oh, that's a good point. Let's have a listen to you. Yeah, so I heard me there. Oh, that's a good point. Let's have a listen to you. Yeah, so yeah, it's just me talking now.
Right, so can you hear me now? Hear me now.
Hey, audience, can you hear Sir Hemmingford Grey?
Can you hear me now? Hello, testing. 1 2 1 2.
You know what this
both
is?
Here now. Right, we're both here now. Right, that's fucking Jesus. Fuck this.
That's thing. Because you see, this is what happens when you mock the Holy Mother.
So I set up my settings for this ages ago, which meant I forgot how to set it all up. But so then I have to pipe everything through the tubes properly.
Yeah, but why? You've already done it once.
If Nob were here, he'd said you should have used Linux. Right then, so did we do anything amusing in the first part of the show that nobody would have heard?
We were talking about Black Beauty and how we should do a 14 words about Black Beauty.
I don't think Black Beauty needs a 14 words because it's not particularly spooky. It's just a horse that has had some adventures.
Yeah, but what about the spooky theme show song about Black Beauty? You know.
Yeah.
Because it's a spooky horse.
So we're all tippity top of the morning to you all.
I've never watched an episode.
Everyone's over at Rumble. There's a party in the Rumble chat.
Yeah. Only the losers hang out on YouTube now. Speaking. Oh, but then again, I don't think I can hear anything on Rumble. No, Rumble's silent.
Why is Rumble?
Can you YouTube?
No, I think you're just in the wrong part of the thing. It should be working fine now.
Well, Dom's saying the same thing. He says I can hear on YouTube, but not on Rumble.
There's literally no reason it should be like that.
But you say that it shouldn't be like that, but it is.
It's not really like, but it do.
I can't. Yeah, I was going to say, what's the negrification of? But it is.
It don't be like that, but it do.
That it be? No, yes, it is. Not that it be. That it be.
No, Wesley said we're both here now. Dom's on the fucking wind-up, cheeky bastard.
Yeah, but literally, like, on the Rumble, can't hear anything.
That's probably because Dom's got it muted, I should imagine.
Yeah, but I've got it unmuted on Rumble.
Oh, Tactical
and I can't hear
Black
anything.
Beauty when he was in 10 in Romania. They had Black Beauty in Romania.
All right. Well, Wesley's saying, I'm listening on YouTube only. That's why I didn't notice the Rumble wasn't working.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
I have no idea. There should be no reason whatsoever the Rumble isn't working. You can't rewind.
No. The important thing is, we've got to get this all set up so that on Friday we can have the Miss Colombo viewing.
Like there's something not
That's the important show.
With, split cam, but there's no reason. I can't see any reason that Rumble should be muted because you can't mute the individual streams. So it's Rumble being spazzing out, I think.
Yeah. Sucks, bro. You have my commiserations?
Yeah, sorry, Pete.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete. So I've got no idea why Rumble wouldn't be working.
Yeah. I guess, hang out in YouTube?
Yeah, listen to you talk on Rumble.
Yeah. Okay, back in the tubes for now because Rumble is being the big homosexual. As we're not allowed to say gay anymore on the YouTube.
You're allowed to say gay because it's got an H in it.
Oh, okay.
Recording in progress. I'm just looking at the stream.
And a gay.
But there wouldn't be a stream.
And he was still alive.
Mute the stream, would there?
I don't know how you broadcast to like two channel websites at once.
I use a program called SplitCam.
Ah, right. Okay, so for whatever reason, SplitCam's just like, no, not having it, mate. No, jog on.
Like it goes so how SplitCam works. So I do the virtual cam from Fortean Words, and then that goes to SplitCam, and SplitCam splits it out. So there should be no reason whatsoever that one stream has sound on it and another wouldn't.
I'm quite tired today. I picked up a whole bunch of stuff, so I can't really help that much. I'm sorry. But
no, I don't know. It seems to be like I think the stream isn't working. The stream in Telegram isn't working either.
Interdimensional Lizard has two Interdimensional Lizard accounts.
Does he? More than one?
Yeah. Oops, wrong account. Here we are. Ah. What strange...
back to YouTube. Tactical Droid's got some mates now. Yeah, I don't quite know what's going on, and I can't explain it neither.
Got a secret admirer. Like, there's a channel called Richie Milkiss, and he like does this sort of one-man show where for like 5 hours he watches mutants and he presses his bow and it goes ding, and it's funny. It is funny. But for some reason, there's a guy on there, and he's got an account called Fremen on the Sand.
Yeah. And
he's always just talking about like, "Hi, I'm Fremen on the Sand, and I like to I like to play with dicks, and I put dicks in my mouth, and I really like dicks."
Do you want to listen to this touching memorial of O.J. Simpson? He broke down barriers and shattered stereotypes about black athletes and their abilities. Civil rights attorney Aretha Martin reflects on O.J. Simpson's life before murder trial.
When you say he broke down barriers, does that mean like he smashed in the door to because he was so concerned about the health of his wife that he broke down doors to get to her, but he was too late to save her?
Maybe you shouldn't have been breaking down doors to her.
Yeah.
I am trying to figure out this Rumble issue, but I've got no idea why it would be doing that. That is weird. Hopefully it's sorted out next time we do it. But yeah. So we'll YouTube it for now.
Weird. So anyway, as Dom correctly ascertained, the TBC means Ted Bundy's cock, and the esoteric Fortean aspects of Ted Bundy's cock, which segues
esoteric elements to it.
Well, it segues into what I want to talk about, which is egregores and tulpas. See, it was seamless that segue.
Segue. You segued it a bit.
We've only managed to filibuster for about 21 minutes. Now I actually have to talk about the thing and just Well, I don't really want to talk now. I'm all worn out. Cole came in today, so I carried in 4.5 bags. I say 4.5 because the fifth one...
You burning coal again a bit?
I dropped it near the bunker, which is kind of useful because it's like, well, you know, almost got it in the goal. But an egregore. Do you know, there is something we could do, actually. I don't want to chance it now, but there's a video. It's about 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it talks about egregores and God and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a really good basis. Now, I did put it into the Fortean Words chat because if ever you want to see like a sort of preview of what we might next be talking about, I even literally just said, next Fortean should be about this. We don't talk enough about meme magic. So yeah, it was a link on Odyssey to Windows on the World and the Perfected Minefield. And the description, it says, the connection to what is known as the divine, the highest governing authority or intelligence known as God, has many obstacles around it, which...
I know when you've had a few to drink, you can talk to God on the big white telephone.
The porcelain throne.
Yeah. Well, it's talking to God on the big white telephone, aren't you? He's going, oh, God.
But, yeah. Right, why don't I go on Snopes? Snopes is a good place to go on to when I want to discuss something, because you go on there, they'll say
I'll tell you what we could do. This is gonna be a bit racist. It probably is gonna get a bit racist, but different people and how they access God. You see, us British are very, very spiritual. All we need to do is go into a church and we can speak to commune with God.
Mm.
The Tibetans, they have to go stabbing each other and freezing each other to death or whatever. Whatever them Shaolin monks do.
They got to climb the top of a mountain and do throat singing, which is just,
The Indians have to lay on a bed of nails. The Yanks have to give all their money away to some preacher with fake teeth.
Egregore. Right. So this is from Wikipedia. Egregore, which is also spelled Egregore, which is French for égrégore, which is from ancient Greek.
Hobbit, are you there? I didn't push nothing, honest. Hobbit, are you there, mate? Wow, this one's going fantastically tonight, isn't it, lads? Yeah, Tactical, and he seems to favour me not at all tonight. Hobbit, you're not there, mate. Hobbit, are you there? At Hobbit. Can't hear you. And it looks like he's not there because his little green circle ain't working. It's like being at a seance. It's spooky how bad this is. I'm blaming the eclipse. Hobbit. Are you there, Hobbit? Can you hear? This is the voice of the Mysterons. I know you can hear me. Right, well, while Hobbit's sorting himself out, shall I, I'll grab... No, I don't look at that one. I'll find something to talk about. Because, there's climate change. It's climate change, yeah. Did you hear what Greta said? Greta said that
Yeah.
He's back.
Climate change is an egregore. And I'll go a bit further than that. Like what?
You've just been away for the past 5 minutes.
Wait, so you didn't have me talking about egregores at all?
How'd you start talking about egregores and then you vanished?
I've been here all this time.
It was Discord doing it to you because your little green circle weren't lighting up.
Well, this is what happens when you mock the Virgin Mary. You just she's the patron saint of information technology.
It's the eclipse, isn't it?
I think if we say a Hail Mary, it will sort these things out. But that will cause what's his socks to get upset.
Isn't a Hail Mary anyway, like a second pass, isn't it? Is that's kind of the colloquialism, isn't it?
It's
a bit like a
Hail
mulligan.
Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Right, I think that the term of that is the fact that it shouldn't happen, but because of the grace of Mary, it does.
Oh, okay.
That's why they say the American. This article is about the esoteric concept for the album by Smack. See,
Interdimensionalism says the eclipse killed OJ, Hobbit's internet, and Rumble's audio.
Yep, it did. The eclipse killed a lot of things. But somehow I'm still alive.
Of everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. That website can't be reached anymore. I found a really good footnote at the bottom of this Wikipedia page. I'm going to see if I can find it somewhere else. What if I just do that, and then I can do a search, copy, and then.
So what were you saying about egregores then?
Yes, egregores. What are they all about then? Or egregor, which is like e-commerce. Egregor. So, right, let's go back to the Wikipedia article. Egregor, which is also spelled egregor, from the French égrégore, which is from the ancient Greek egligos, wakeful. Ah, you see, now I can pretend I can know how to pronounce ancient Greek. Is an esoteric concept representing a non-physical entity or thought form that arises from the collective thoughts and emotions of a distinct group of individuals. In magical and other occult traditions, it is typically seen as having an independent existence, but in other kinds of esotericism, it is merely the collective mind of a religious community, either esoteric or exoteric, in the latter sense as a collective mind. The term collective entity, preferred by René Guénon, is synonymous with egregore. See the usage overview below. In the apocryphal Book of Enoch, the term had referred to angelic beings known as watchers, and there are some citations there.
I'm just having a flick on Twitter. Is Bill Nelson the head of NASA? Is he an alien?
I try not to. Well, I mean, I do involve myself in NASA to laugh at them, but I try not to take them seriously.
God Lord, he looks like an alien. I'll find a picture of him. You keep.
So, according to Wikipedia, in the Book of Enoch, they refer to the Watchers as egregores, and it was also used by the associated Enochian traditions to refer to the specific rituals and practices associated with these entities. There's a citation there. The Rosicrucian Archive about egregores. Okay. Some of the literary and religious works, such as the manuscript found in Saragossa, have also made references to these angelic beings.
Yeah, Hobbit. Is that an egregore?
An egregor is a collective thought form. So let's have a look at that's what the Americans call a skinwalker. I'm not looking at that anymore because like that thing in the UN, that wasn't an egregor because I was never thinking about fish demons being represented, and you know the nation of Dagon.
Imagine that grinning down on you for eternity.
I'm trying not to, and in fact, I'm clicking off from the page so I don't have to see it.
Why'd they put?
You should.
Who better to put in charge of NASA than an alien, I suppose?
I'm just not looking at that demonic goblin face anymore. Egregores have been quite independent.
Egregores, Hobbit. Dom wants to know.
You know what, Dom? That's actually a really good question, and I will. Let's have a look at what the Clockwork Elves are afterwards. So remind me about that, because I don't know what they are. Egregores have been quite independent entities.
Is Bill Wassey's
in the Book of Enoch?
Is Bill Wassey's
Egregores have been quite
Is Bill Nelson a Clockwork Elf, or is he something else?
I don't know who that is. Independent entities in the Book of Enoch. Oh, right. And there was... No, an egregor is a collective thought form.
Okay, then.
So, like, you know, it's like that bloke that...
he does look like something that's been farted out. There's something not right about that.
Well, yeah, is a demon in the facsimile of a human. But, yeah... egregores have been quite independent entities in the Book of Enoch, and there was no notion of them arising from a collective. In literature, especially older literature, egregores have often been straightforward references to these Enochian entities. This was the case in Jan Portolocchi's novel, The Manuscript Found in Saragossa, which referred to egregores as the most illustrious of fallen angels. The French author Victor Hugo in La Légende des siècles, The Legend of the Ages. Well, siècle doesn't mean ages, it means...
century, though.
Yeah. Oh, so maybe they refer to... Siècle... Hang on, I want to look at translate now, because I'm pretty sure siècle means century. Because I always had things referred to as like the 20e siècle for the 20th century. So if I go translate, English, no, French. That's what I want.
I
Let's
thought
have a look at this.
Fin de siècle meant the end of the century.
Century. Yeah, century is translated as siècle.
Yeah.
Age is also translated as âge.
Diabolical at French. Even I knew siècle.
What if I put in era?
Did he yank right?
Era in French is, well, it's Wikipedia's probably. Era in French is air. So come on, I want to hear that. Air. Air. Right, okay. So, back to egregores. The French author Victor Hugo in La Légende du siècle, or I'm going to translate it correctly, The Legend of the Centuries. Will I edit this page? Oh. Start editing. This IP address has been blocked from editing Wikipedia. Oh, I can't edit it then. Yeah, I've been IP blocked, which is interesting because I've never edited Wikipedia on this IP address before. Anyway, Victor Hugo also uses the word egregore, first as an adjective, then as a noun, while leaving the meaning obscure. More on these beings may be read in the Watcher article. The traditionalist school...
Oh, he's gone again.
Julius Evolvo, in his revolt against the modern world by having a Volvo...
Bill Nelson's early life, it turns out he was born in the depths of hell. So, yeah, I think he...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. and he's attended Baptist and Episcopal churches. That's, I'd say demon confirmed that
he was raised in the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
So Julian Volvo, in his revolt against the modern world by driving Volvo estates, referred to an elite of spiritually aware people who keep tradition alive.
I'm driving the new Volvo estate. Is he a bit like
those
like
who
an
are
old
awake?
Days Clarkson, was he? And this thing
here
is
I am.
built like a tank.
It is the best car in the world. It referred to an elite spiritually aware people who keep tradition alive as those who are awake, this is really
and much like Iron Brew, it was made in Scotland from girders.
So, Julius Evolver, he referred to spiritually aware people who keep tradition alive as those who are awake, whom in Greek are called the egregore, apparently alluding to the Watchers, and the most literal sense of the name, which is wakeful or awake. Really? In group, as group mind.
Watches the Watchers.
Well, that's the point about egregores. They come about because people watch them. In esotericism,
to
term
rephrase someone's question from YouTube, is Rule 34 an egregore?
You see, it's not collective thought form, though, is it? Because it's individual artists that are doing the drawings.
We're not drawings; they're acts, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're drawing the acts.
No, it's porn. Rule 34 is porn.
Yeah, but I mean, someone had to draw the porn.
No, they didn't, because it's people doing things to each other.
But that's not what an egregore is. So, as a group mind, in esotericism, the term egregore has been used to denote a group mind. You'll have to forgive me, right? Because if I laugh, it's going to hurt my belly, as I've been carrying coal on my back, and it hurts my tummy muscles because I have to use them, and it's so.
Does
this
mean egregores are woke? Then that's dumb.
Yes. Literally are woke. Well done, you got it.
James Dunbar says best stream ever. Yeah, I think this one's going into the podcast awards. This one.
I'm trying to think what it's up there with. I think it might be up there with our Fred West episode because we got good reviews on that one.
Oh, we got excellent reviews on that.
I know. I really like the reviews we got on the Fred West episode.
I'd love that person to listen in again and give us another review. Maybe on the Jeffrey Dahmer, because we were very sensitive when we handled the Jeffrey Dahmer one.
Jeffrey Dahmer's Willie? TBW?
Yeah. We very sensitively handled the Jeffrey Dahmer episode. We took the criticism on board, and it was very, very respectful.
We've improved our show since. I'm looking at that picture you got there.
Yeah.
Of that desiccated corpse in a suit. And it's like, it looks like like an AI generated image, but I'm just trying to think, what's the prompt you'd use for this? Skinwalker in a suit giving a speech.
A husk of a man.
Dom says, at least OJ can rest knowing his wife's killer is now dead. Allegedly.
Oof. Allegedly, Dom. Don't forget allegedly.
Oh, this is strange. This article on the Gregors has changed into one about Joshua Fay Saunders. No, that's that. Well, he will be in an episode of Fortean Words, but he's still alive at the moment, so we'll have to wait on that one. As Rennie Gwenon said, the collective in its psychic as well as its corporeal aspects is nothing but a simple extension of the individual. The collective in its psychic as well as its corporeal aspects is nothing but a simple extension of the individual, and thus has absolutely nothing transcendent with respect to it, as opposed to spiritual influences, which are of a wholly different order. The usage was swallowed by Gnosis. Oh, sorry, the capital G is silent. Gnosis magazine, and by Olavo de Carvalho. And according to Gwenon, began with Eliphas Levi.
Holy shit. Have you seen this? I don't know how true it is, but breaking news. Official statement of Stormy Daniels, January the 30th, 2018. To whom it may concern, over the past few weeks, I've been asked countless times to comment on reports of an alleged sexual relationship I had with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006. I think she did a typo there because it's 20011. So 2000, 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. I'm not denying this affair because I was paid hush money, as has been reported in overseas and owned tabloids. I'm denying this affair because it never happened. I will have no further comment on this matter. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram at @thestormydaniels. So if that's true, that could be problematic for those that are suing him.
What? Whores? Yeah, I like whores. I was looking at the job description.
You pay the money and they go away.
Well, I was looking at this description and they're calling them care assistants, but I was just like, you're describing whores, but then there was like, you got to provide cooking and cleaning as well. I was like, hang on, if you're hiring me to be a whore, why are you asking me to do that stuff? It's like, but I don't know, maybe the job role of it in the time.
Yeah.
Oh man, my muscles are aching. Oh, right, here we go. As independent magical being arising from collective mind. Some authors seem to have merged the esoteric concept with the Enochian concept to arrive at an idea of spiritual entities that feed off the thoughts of energy of a unified multitude. As the website occultist.net described it, or nevertheless having a more of a life of their own. The more specific features and powers will depend on the particular author. Kate Strong, writing from the newsletter Know Thyself, Heal Thyself, described egregores as symbols, ideas, or ideals that exist in the collective psyche of a group of people and are thought to have an autonomous existence. The usage seems to have come largely from meditations on the tarot, as may have been seen in the next section. The concept of a tulpa is similar, as Gary Lachman and Max Davish noted. I apologise for this article. It's giving a lot of names and it's not giving context for them very much. In Meditations on the Tarot, described the Antichrist as an egregore, an artificial being who owes his existence to the collective generation from below. Elsewhere, the book described egregores as demons engendered by the collective will and imagination of nations. The book cites, but does not completely agree with, the usage of Robert Ambelane's work, La Kabbale Pratique. Practical Kabbalism. Ambelane has defined the egregore as a force generated by a powerful spiritual current and then nourished at regular intervals, according to a rhythm and harmony with the universal life of the cosmos, or to a union of entities united by a common characteristic nature. The author of Meditations on the Tarot described the passage from Ambelane as a definition which leaves nothing more to be desired. We disagree with Ambelane's description of Catholicism, Freemasonry, and Protestantism as egregores. Right. I'm going to carry on reading this after a bit, but I'm getting bored with reading
It's a bit dry, I bet. I got to tell you, mate. Meanwhile, do you want to read a funny tweet thread? Sarah O'Connor has said a robot has killed a worker in a VW plant in Germany. Then she tweeted, "Okay, I should have thought about my name and its association before tweeting this. Sigh. I've never even watched the films. Now my feed is full of people tweeting at me about Skynet."
Look, this is one of those egregores that we get in life, like when they find Phil McCann to do an article saying, "Oh, the petrol in the forecourts is going off. You better all buy it up before they have to throw it away for free." So everybody did a run on the petrol forecourts, and then Alan Drinkwater reported about Thames Water, and who was the other one? That was it like a woman or something? But there was like 5 reporters with like interesting names doing articles related to their names on the BBC alone.
Yeah, it was getting.
So the thing is, this article, it's starting to sound like one of Emo Monk's voice messages. And it's beginning to sound like, why is it when I talk that this phlegm comes up?
I don't know. I get really like phlegmy whenever I do a podcast.
Well, we know why. It's the chinky cough. It's ever since the chinky cough. I've had a
really snotty whenever I podcast, and I don't know why.
Right. Well, 4 years ago, I wasn't this phlegmy. Right. What I wanted to say is, I understand an egregore as it's a collective consciousness, it's a thought form, and this is something which is sort of hidden from people, because what if you had those understanding how this magic works, and they're all directing it towards something, like, here's an example. Back in 2015 and 16, meme magic was quite popular on the chans. And they were talking about, we found this old primordial god of chaos in the Egyptian pantheon called Kek. Which isn't that funny, seeing as we keep spelling lol as Kek, because if you like move your fingers one position to the right on the keyboard, instead of typing LOL, you'd end up typing K. And so the Peppy the Frog, that was a big thing as well. You know, all the Peppies and the rare Peppies, and
then Peppy's
Kek was,
isn't it? Because that bloke said, "Oh, I wrote it first."
Oh, what? And I killed it. It's like, yeah, lol, no. What was that? What's to stop me from drawing like a Mickey Mouse and Pepe, and they're just like they're sitting on the computer on the Pirate Bay and just downloading Mission Impossible or something. I don't know. Just piss off all the copyright holders.
Well, you could do that without, couldn't you? Because you could do Steamboat Willie.
I could use one of those AI prompter things to say, like, Peppy saying he's sad because he's watching Mickey Mouse 3D printing a gun after downloading the prints from the Pirate Bay. You wouldn't download a car. Right. Point I wanted to make about this is meme magic's real, and when enough people think about it, and they think about it in a sort of unified way, and if you're drawing like little cartoon frogs in places, doing stuff like that, it does manifest in very funny ways. And it should be fun, because creation is fun. And the way I know creation is fun is because of, and I'm sorry to mention this, but the male orgasm. There's also
OJ died on Jeremy Clarkson's birthday.
Ah, what a shame.
Because James Mason on Twitter, he said, on this day in 1960, the Enlightenment was brought to a close with the birth of Jeremy Clarkson.
Now, I also have it on good authority that women enjoy sex too. So if we're talking about the act of co-creation, men and women find it pleasurable. So creation is fun. And the fact is, other forms of creation, which don't result in reproduction, they're fun too. Like people drawing these cartoons and they're all working to a collective goal. They're having fun with it. They're comparing like each other's, and then they're just they're making chaos happen, and the chaos was a lot of fun. But then it got serious and it wasn't fun anymore, and stopped working. And this is the thing about egregores: when people are having fun doing them, the energy that is associated with fun is joy, and that's quite powerful. And I know it's going to sound corny me saying this, but that film Monsters Inc. was actually a revelation of the method. They want to harvest our fear and screams, but it turns out that joy and laughter is far more powerful, but they can't really.
What about the most famous tulpa of them all, Slender Man?
Well,
well, I don't think you could call him a tulpa, could you? But he's like a cultural phenomenon, isn't he?
I will mention him amongst the other tulpas and egregores later, but there is one who I'm going to argue is probably more well known than that, and there's been more visions and sightings of this tulpa later. But so right, in the work of Gary Lachman, this is the next bit. So we'll just read a bit more about this now. Gary Lachman followed the usage of meditations in the tarot in his book Dark Star Rising. Have you mentioned Dark Star Rising to me before?
No, not me. Must have been someone else.
So he went on to suggest that Peppy the Frog may be an egregore in this sense, or a tulpa. Oh, funny, he came to the same conclusion I did, which Lachman saw as a similar phenomenon. In the usage of Lachman and the meditations in the tarot, there are no good egregores, only negative ones, dickhead. Lachman cited Jocelyn Godwin's The Golden Thread, which itself cited the meditations in the tarot, as a source for the idea that while a religious or other group who creates an egregore can rely on it as an efficacious magical ally, the egregore's help comes at a price, since, as Godwin put it, its creators must thenceforth meet the egregore's unlimited appetite for their future devotion. Topsy-turvy way of saying it. Look, the whole point I got about this is that meme magic's real. Our collective thoughts, when they're aimed at a certain thing, can create these egregores. They're useful for us. So back in the olden days, but before Christianity came about, there was polytheism, and I think what in its true sense, I think like primitive man, he understood that there was God the Creator, but then he was like, what if we have like God of the hunt and God of the harvest and God of fecundity and blacksmithing, and What if you make a god for crossing the river without drowning? And what you're doing there...
sounds like it's something to do with poo, but it's not.
Fecundity?
Yeah.
Well, fecund can also have negative connotations. Like a swamp is fecund with life.
Yeah.
But the fact is, primitive man knew that these gods he was creating didn't exist until he created them. Then they did exist, and it's like, yeah, here's the god of lightning. That could be useful. So he was actually harnessing the power of his mind and his imagination to create things. And I think there's probably a god of technology, because that's the egregore which I would say certainly in the 20th century people believe very strongly in it. I mean, the technological progress we made there was incredible, and that's it's. I would say that was sort of a resonant loop where we were believing in technology, and then we manifested technology, which allowed us to create better tools to make more.
Whatever you believe, like technology got to the point where maybe we did or maybe we didn't get to the moon. Like this is how technology was leaping and bounding, and now all we've got is flashing lights, haven't we? There hasn't been any like decent, like the stuff gets smaller, yes, but
well, I think it's magical that you can get a micro SD card now. For reference, a micro SD card is smaller than my pinky nail.
Oh, but next week
and
you're gonna go. Aren't kettles magical?
I actually 100% agree with Zero on that, because the amount of technology to make a kettle boil and to get the water in the kettle to boil it, there is a lot of white man's magic going on in there. But a micro SD card, right? This is an example of technology which to me seems like magic. And even if I understand like the processes involved in making circuits, it's smaller than the size of my... So if you're looking at your pinky nail now, you can see that, it's small, but you can still see it. Now, a micro SD card is smaller than that. And yet you can buy ones these days, which, let me just double check. I'll go on the Jungle website, and I'll type in... let me just type in micro SD card by capacity, and 128 gig and above. I'm looking for I'm seeing like 256 and stuff, but I saw a 1.5 terabyte hard. Oh, here we go. A 1 terabyte SanDisk micro SSD, and that's for sale for £114. I also saw a 1.5 terabyte. And here's one which I can't believe it's not SanDisk. It's like, when Aldi makes digestive biscuits and they got Newport instead of McVitie's on the packet. This has got to be dodgy. Right, so bear in mind, the 1 terabyte SanDisk card is £120. And this WWSD 998 gigabytes, that is on sale for £20. Wow, what a bargain. But anyway, point being, that's magic. How can you put 1 terabyte on something that's so small? So, egregores, hey? Technology is an egregore. Because how does that work? It shouldn't work, but somehow it does. You still with me? Am I here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I'm just stunned.
Good. Right. In the works of Peter Carroll. Oh, okay. Liebenow and Psychonaut by British chaos magician Peter J. Carroll uses the word egregore for the first time at the end of the following passage. So this is Peter Carroll. Religion takes the view that consciousness preceded organic life. Supposedly there were gods, angelic forces, titans and demons setting the scene before material life developed. Science takes the opposite view and considers that much organic evolution occurred before the phenomenon of consciousness appeared. Magic, which is given more attention to the quality of consciousness itself, takes the alternative view and concludes that organic and psychic forms evolve synchronously. See, I'm much smarter than you scientists and religionists. As organic development occurs, a psychic field is generated which feeds back into the organic forms. Thus each species of living being has its own type of psychic form or magical essence. These egregores may occasionally be felt as a presence or even glimpsed in the form of the species they watch over. The book goes on to say that those who have perceived the human egregore usually describe it as God, and that all life on this world contributes to and depends on a vast composite egregore, which has variously been known as the Great Mother, the Anima Mundi, the Great Archon, the Devil, Pan, and Baphomet. In the work of Frater Tenebris, I've heard of that before. Following this usage, though giving
horror film, are you?
Frater Tenebris? Well, if I put in the word, and then you can look at it here.
Italian giallo film. Great soundtrack.
Following this usage, though giving no citations, the glossary in the 2022 book The Philosophy of Dark Paganism by Frater Tenebris defines an egregore as an occult term for an independently functioning spiritual entity created by one or more magic with a K practitioners. Many egregores begin as thought forms, but then become capable of operating independently of the practitioners. It defines thought form as an esoteric entity. An esoteric identity created by magic with a K, and magic with a K as a spiritual practice and process to influence the probability of events. I thought it was bumming your students and dying as in Hastings, but good old Aleister Crowley. The book itself mentions egregores in the context of archetypism, a view that understands the different gods and goddesses as either psychological structures similar to Carl Jung's archetypes or different currents of arcane energy found in the cosmos that are anthropomorphized. Noting that some archetypists consider the gods to be thought forms created from worship and prayer by generations of believers, it says that over time these thought forms may become egregores that exhibit some autonomy apart from their worshippers, and that one might imagine these gods along the line of Neil Gaiman's deities in the novel American Gods. Have you ever read American Gods?
No, I don't think so. Is that
okay?
Neil Gaiman?
So
I've never knowingly read Neil Gaiman.
I didn't read it at first because I didn't want to read something about prison.
About Sandman, don't
they? I've read that.
Yeah.
So anyway, American Gods, it's got a concept which seems plausible enough to me that these old gods, they don't have the powers that they once have because they don't have the followers they once did, and the rest of it is not important really. Just that one concept I took away. I thought was so. Anyway, in Theosophy, my God, there's a lot of people talking about egregores.
So gods are a bit like Freddy Krueger then.
Yeah. Mauricio, so Italian pasta name, writing defined in the egregore as an astral, mental, spiritual construct sustained by several people over a long period of time, giving it a character of permanence that does not depend on any particular individual. While saying that egregores have no life of their own, Meridos nevertheless emphasized their independence, noting that egregores can be associated with physical locations, so that when we enter an environment and feel uncomfortable, what we often experiencing is the clash between the energies expressed by the egregores of the place and our energies. Right, I've cooled down now, so I'm going to put my jumper on, and that's half of the Wikipedia article on the Grigors. I think Emo Monk and his mates have been writing this because nice story, bro. But I'm not reading the rest of it.
Yeah, it does sound a bit, doesn't it?
Welcome to the studious podcast of the podcast of the Fortean Eaters, where we talk in great depth academically.
Have you read
about importance? Have you read The Rusty Trombone, perchance, Connor? Or Connor's the only name I know, though. I'm trying to do this thing like, giving gravitas to the situation. Yeah. I just like, because
I believe Derrida put it best in his book. That's what you have to do to appear smart.
Yeah.
I've read books.
Oh.
And my only quotes come from books. That makes them clever.
And the other bit to make people know that you're a right swatty brainy brain is you say, well, let's put this in praxis, shall we?
Yeah.
And then they proceed to carry on talking about stuff that interests them in a theoretical manner rather than actually putting anything they say into practice. And also, why are you saying praxis? We've got a word for putting things in practice. It's called practice.
Yeah.
And being practical. Praxis. Go fuck yourself with your practice.
Why do doctors practice?
Why don't you write a long 50-page essay about going to fuck yourself in praxis and not doing it because you're academic and you don't actually do anything? You're worthless. So yeah, egregores, they're things, and the fact is 20 different ways of saying, actually, there's not much more to read. Shall I just carry on reading it?
To be fair, I'm just looking at an AI. Someone's done an AI version of, it'd be Wes Anderson's Star Wars, and it's quite funny.
The work of René Gunon, unless right, here we go. Right. In the Book of Enoch, chapter 1, verse 5, refers to egregorgos, which usually translates as watchers. As René Guénon says, these are entities of highly enigmatic character that, whatever they may be, seem to belong in the intermediary world. And Gator, I want you to attack me when I come in, but not let me know when it happens. This is all they have in common with the collective entities to which the same name has been applied in esoteric literature. Well, Guénon notes that
I've just seen a pretty funny cartoon. It's Death, and he's playing a claw machine. And he said, "O.J. Simpson, is George Soros even in this thing?"
How is George Soros still alive?
I don't fucking know. It's not possible, is it? Like, he's just maybe being the embodiment of evil itself is just like good for you, or is it just the baby blood? I'm not sure.
Vast amounts of baby blood. I'm going to put it down to that. Allegedly. Yeah. There we go. Cover myself now. George Soros rapes babies and exsanguinates them in satanic orgies. Allegedly. Yeah. It's allegedly like the old-fashioned version of in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Allegedly in Minecraft. René Guénon, each collectivity can thus be regarded as possessing a subtle force made up in a way of contributions of all its members past and present, which is, this considerable and able to produce greater effects as the collectivity is older and composed of a greater number of members. It is evident, moreover, that this quantitative consideration essentially indicates that it is a question of individual domain, beyond which this force could not in any way intervene. Guénon believed that prayer is not directly addressed to spiritual entities such as gods or angels, but rather consciously or not, addresses itself most immediately to the collective entity, and is only by the intermediary of this latter that it also addresses the spiritual influence that works for it. Olavio de Carvalho believed that, according to Gwenon's view, the prayers of persons who are not members of the community are ineffectual. I mean, I can see where he's coming from. I'm not sure if I agree with him exactly, but yeah, I can see it. According to Gwenon, the term was first used to designate these collective entities by Eliphas Levi, who, to justify this meaning, gave it an improbable Latin etymology, deriving it from grex, which means flock, whereas the word purely is Greek and has never signified anything but watcher. According to Mark Stavish's descriptions, 2018 book Egligos, however, Levy's Le Grand Arcane, Great Secret. Well, no, secret isn't written like... Who the fuck is translating this French? No, Le Grand Arcane means arcane. Arcane's even a word in English. It means like arcane knowledge. Clearly identifies the word egregor with the Kabbalistic lore of those beings who are said to be the fathers of the Nephilim, i.e. the Watchers. Levi described them as terrible beings that crush us without pity because they are unaware of our existence. Following usage of egregor as a collective entity, a 1987 article by Gétien Delaforge in Gnosis magazines defines an egregor as a kind of group mind which is created when people consciously come together for a common purpose. This is why I've always said that the World Cup is interesting, not because it's 22 men on the pitch chasing a ball, but because most of the world's attention. Well, I'm not even like saying that. What I find interesting about it is that you've got most of the world's attention focused on these 22 men on the pitch chasing a ball, and it's fascinating. It's like most of the world are looking at this now in one form or another, you know, on their television screens, on the radio, but all of their thought is focused on that. And that's one of the biggest egregors we've got. I mean, imagine that. Like, you know, you've got at least half the world, and the other half of the world is probably the women who are just like sweeping their, you know, streets and favelas. I'm not sure why I imagine the rest of the world is just Brazil, but there you have it. Yeah, the World Cup is an interesting egregor because the fact is, all this attention focused on it is a magic ritual. I mean, people talk about the Super Bowl being a magic ritual, but I'm sorry, Americans, the Super Bowl or the World Series or whatever you call it, it's not that interesting. The rest of the world, we don't watch it. I mean, we've heard of it because you Yanks keep on yammering about it, but it's the World Cup. Do you want to see our
corporate satanic satanic advert?
I've got like two paragraphs left to read, and then we'll have a look at the advert. Following the usage of egregor as a collective entity, oh yeah, I said that bit. Olavio de Carvalho's 2017 course on esotericism presented a division of type of rites. Excuse me. Rites are divided into magic rites and religious rites are further divided into proprietary, sacrificial, aggregation, and initiation rites. Aggregation rites are rites which are directed to the egregor of community and make someone a member of it. Olavo cited René Guénon's view that prayer is directed primarily to the egregor, without noting that Guénon himself did not use this term. And then it says, see also, and the first thing on the list is Akashic Records. So anyway, let's have a look at this this advert.
Akashic Record. We're talking about the Akashic
Hobbit's
Records.
Madfwaz impression is spot on. I've heard of René Madfwaz. They've got Harry and Beau. They should host a show together just for the pun. Harry and Beau. Harry Beau. Oh, they could have Harry Beau. Yeah, like sweetie reviews with Harry and Beau. I don't think guys listening to a nerd talk about Evola and Ganon care about Sports Ball Hobbit.
Yeah.
Well, you say that. But the fact is, I've just made like a comparison here. Like, yeah, the emo monks of the world won't be interested in it. And I'm not particularly sporty. I mean, I prefer cricket and rowing rather than football. But what interests me about the World Cup is the fact that you got at least half of the world, and they're following like men on the pitch. And the final, that's like the big event, right? That's been like everyone's paying attention, or unless you're like annoyed about like the frankly criminal activities of the referees allowing goals in that shouldn't have been allowed in, but. You know, that's neither here nor there. The fact is, the final, that's when most of the world is going like, I'm watching this now. Yeah. So, saying about a satanic advert, you're going to scare people, well, upset me. But, you know, I don't like that sort of Protestant imagery.
Protestant imagery.
You know, they all worship Luther, which really is just Lucifer. So yeah, tulpas, they're a bit like egregores, aren't they?
Yeah.
One might argue that Jesus Christ is a type of egregore, although I'd say, well, no, he's not, because he's the Son of God.
Yeah, well,
but some would argue that he is.
Actually, I'm pretty sure my big book of the Unexplained's got a story about a tulpa in it.
Yeah.
Go for it then. Before that, the miracle at Fatima, I think, didn't you say that was an egregore?
No, that's a Marian apparition. So this is the thing I was going to say, right?
Yeah.
The Holy Virgin and Jesus Christ, they're so prominent in people's thoughts that numerous visions and sightings of them have been seen. I mean, even to the point where there's the statues of Mary that seem to have been weeping, sometimes even weeping blood. And actual human blood as well. Like, you know, the priests go and take blood samples and then send them to a forensics, and they say, well, this is human blood. Very interesting to know, like, what the
should be able to
DNA makeup is of this stuff. Yeah. They found that with the Shroud of Turin as well. Like the face on it. It was burnt into it with really powerful ultraviolet radiation, which to me sort of suggests, like, yeah, that's literally the Son of God's spirit leaving his body.
So do you want a story about a tulpa?
The shroud, by the way, is 2,000 years old. We talked about the Shroud of Turin in the previous episode, didn't we? I just feel like
properly. I know we've probably spoken about it.
All right, just to summarise it, the Shroud of Turin, it's 2,000 years old. A fire did damage it in the 1300s, and it was restored. And then the church in the 90s did I'm speaking of the true church here, not those like pretend churches. The church did an investigation into the 90s. And they said, oh, well, we analysed the threads and they date back 700 years. They're not 2,000 years old. And it's like, yeah, you specifically analysed the threads from the restoration, not the original, dickhead. It is 2,000 years old.
What do you think
there's like this big thing that...
Then, I bet. Do you think that's a real thing?
I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Have you seen?
I don't believe in the holy. I don't believe in the holy prepuce though. That just seems a bit.
What's that?
You know, the holy prepuce. They said they've got the bit of Jesus's cock they mutilated.
Oh no, yeah.
Keep that as a relic.
Right, so do you want to hear about this tulpa then?
Yeah.
So few Westerners have had an opportunity to investigate the apparently fanciful Tibetan claims outlined above. That's just where they're talking about tulpas. One who did was the French scholar and traveller Alexandre David Neil, who spent 14 years in Tibet and studied the doctrines of Tantric Buddhism with a number of eminent lamas. The only woman, not lamas, but lamas. That lamas with a single L, not a double L by well.
What, the things which look a bit like sheep?
Not the camels that spit at you. The other kind of lama, like there's a Dalai Lama. The only woman lama at that time, she was widely honoured for her contribution to the understanding of Tibetan thought. Later, she published 2 accounts of her experiences in that remote and little-known country. The following description of her own experience with a tulpa is taken from her book Magic and Mystery in Tibet. Besides having had few opportunities of seeing thought forms, my habitual incredulity led me to make experiments myself, and my efforts were attended with some success. I chose for my experiment the most insignificant character, a monk, short, fat, of an innocent and jolly type. Jolly, she means fat. I shut myself in Sams, which is a meditative seclusion, and proceeded to perform the prescribed concentration of thought and other rites. After a few months, the phantom monk was formed. His form grew, gradually fixed and lifelike looking. He became a kind of guest living in my apartment. I then broke my seclusion and started a tour with my servants and tents. The monk included himself in the party. Though I lived in the open, riding on horseback for miles each day, the illusion persisted. I saw the fat trapper, which is a novice monk. Now and then, it was not necessary for me to think of him to make him appear. The phantom performed various actions of the kind that are natural to travellers that I had not commanded. For instance, he walked, stopped, looked around him. The illusion was mostly visual, but sometimes I felt as if a robe was lightly rubbing against me, and once a hand seemed to touch my shoulder. The features which I had imagined when building my phantom gradually underwent a change. The fat, chubby-cheeked fellow grew leaner, his face assumed a vaguely mocking, sly, malignant look. He became more troublesome and bold. In brief, he escaped my control. Once a herdsman who brought me a present of butter saw the tulpa in my tent and took it for a live llama. I ought to have let the phenomenon follow its course, but the presence of that unwanted companion began to prove trying to my nerves. It turned into a day nightmare. Moreover, I was going to Lhasa, so I decided to dissolve the phantom. I succeeded, but only after 6 months of hard struggle. My mind creature was tenacious of life. There you go, Hobbit, a real life tulpa.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Slender Man as well in the thing. And,
is he a tulpa? Because he hasn't actually manifested yet, has he? Unless you believe those 2 psycho girls that tried to kill the third one.
I don't know about that story. I probably have heard it, but it's like one of those things.
They took the girl out to the woods, stabbed her, cut her up real bad, and really fucked this girl up. But the girl managed to crawl to the road and survive. And then these 2 girls, they tried to bullshit the police for a bit, and eventually the police got to the bottom of it.
Oh, okay.
Give me a sec. I'll try and find I think if you just type in Slender Man killing, it will probably come up.
Tom Offkicker says, maybe if we collectively imagine someone in a shell suit, one will appear on screen. Oh, stranger things have been known to happen.
The weird thing is, Hobbit, it's in that place, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Do you remember what else happened in Waukesha?
I've heard that term before. That's where people go.
Waukesha is where the truck drove into people all by itself. Do you remember that?
Ah, the SUV truck. Yes, it had an accident. The truck ploughed into people.
Yeah.
A truck did it.
A truck did, yes.
Yeah.
So on May 31st, 2014, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, two 12-year-old girls, Anissa Weir and Morgan Geezer, lured their friend Peyton Leutner into a wooded area of a local park and stabbed her 19 times to appease the fictional character Slender Man. Weir and Geezer were both found not guilty by mental disease or defect and committed to mental health institutions. Weir received a sentence of 25 to life. Geezer was sentenced to 40 to life. After 7 years in custody, Weir was granted early release and we under supervision to the age of 30. So, well, that's not 20. That's 7 years then, isn't it? That's not 25. You're getting 25. You're going to be banged up for 25 years. Ah, well, it's only 7. You'll be all right.
How does that work?
I think the real horror part of that is her only getting 7 years for stabbing a kid 19 times. Would you say Slenderman's up there with, like, I mean, would you say like people like Freddy, Michael, Jason? Would you say they're all Chucky? Would you say they're up with what are they called? What you're talking about, egregores? Do you think they're egregores at all?
Well, do like people manifest or worship Chucky in real life?
Suppose so. I mean, if you're a teenage kid that's obsessed with Chucky and you've got posters all over your room, you got all the videos and DVDs, maybe you are.
I think that's the sort of same thing about like what do you call it? The boy bands where the girls have all those boy bands on their posters.
But they're real
on the walls.
people, aren't they? So would you put them in the same thing or not?
Well, they can start off as real people, but then they become something else. Like they get sort of like madly obsessed with them. I'm talking about like, because apparently we don't do boy bands anymore. I don't know, but it seems that, well, except in Korea, the boy bands are big over there now.
Cringe.
And there's stalkers that seem to, for whatever reason, want their chosen idol to be consume some of their bodily fluids.
Oh, grim.
So they no longer accept food or drinks handed to them by fans.
Oh, what? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you make them eat your wee in a brownie or something, then they'll fall in love with you. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I've actually heard women say that, like, if they put their bodily fluids into the food, the men will fall in love with them. It's like, no, I'm not going to fall in love with someone who snots in my burger.
Wait, back to like Freddy, Jason, and that. They do have their own personalities, don't they? Because if you saw a film and he helped people and walked the dog or whatever, you go, that's not Freddy, wouldn't you? Or that's not Jason.
So
they do have they have their own personalities, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, you can't just sort of say every statue of a woman is the Holy Mother. I mean, it's Mary is a certain way, and not other things.
Yeah. You got any more on this subject?
I probably did, but actually, I'm really knocked out from carrying the coal, and my belly hurts.
Should we do some do a couple of bits of Fortean unexplained histories? We haven't done that for a while, have we?
I'll also scroll through the channel and see what else, because the thing is there is this video. I mean, could we play it on our channel?
Don't know.
I think it's worth playing.
Robbie Williams believes that his fame may have made him a target for aliens.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it is a...
Did you know he's in the running to buy Skinwalker Ranch?
I did not know that. That's really weird.
Yeah.
So the thing is, to the chat, this video I'm talking about, it's Odyssey, the Perfected Minefield, and it's a preview. It's 20 minutes long. It talks about this in greater depth, and I would encourage others to watch it. I would like to hear your opinions on it. So that's in the Fortean Words chat. You can see it there. Before that, I posted a picture of Colours by Year, which is an infographic I've posted before. And there seems to be this thumbnail there saying, why is the world losing colour? It's showing a McDonald's before where it had like the red roof, and now it's like just got this black bricks. New AI research shows that our world is becoming more boring and less colourful. And
we were ahead of the curve on this one, weren't we, Hobbit?
Well, this guy here is saying 9/11 made our world less colourful. We are entering a dark, pessimistic era of decline, and it's being reflected in the colours of our world. The colours are disappearing. Are you okay, bro? The colours have started to disappear since 9/11.
There's a renewed bid to find Excalibur, Hobbit.
I'm looking at the Fortean chat. Cases of missing man hit Ghana. Story about people complaining about their missing penis for parts of Ghana. Don't they hide for the past weeks? What's that image? Fun fact: schizo eye movements can be tracked. Well, sorry, radio listeners, you're not going to be able to see this, but is a picture showing a tracking of eye movements on various images.
Yeah.
And it seems so eye movements, they are really just sort of focused in one area. They're not really looking around, whereas normal eye movements, you're sort of looking at all the bits that are pertinent in an image.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Is that thinking about demons?
No, I don't know what schizos are thinking about. Oh yeah, that was it. There was a atmospheric. Yes, this was it. So NASA need another 7 astronauts.
Yeah.
NASA to launch sounding rockets into moon shadow during the solar eclipse. So this happened in 2017. They also did it just a few days ago. NASA will launch. Now the thing is, these rockets, right? Here's APEP. Now, we should, if you don't know, APEP is the Egyptian god of death and destruction. So NASA have made these atmospheric perturbations around eclipse path rockets.
Yeah.
APEP rockets. So they're firing APEP rockets at the moon. They're firing death and destruction at the moon, or the moon and the sun where they're conjoined. So the APEP sounding rockets were launched from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia to study the disturbances. Yes, the flight facility in Virginia is called Wallops. And they say we've got funny place names. You've literally got the Wallops Test Facility. So they're going to study the disturbances in the ionosphere created by when the moon eclipses the sun. The sounding rockets have previously launched and successfully recovered from White Sands Test Facility in New Mexico during the October 2023 annular solar eclipse. They have been refurbished with new instrumentation and will be relaunched in April 2024. The mission is led by some Puinlua name, a professor of engineering physics at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for Florida, where he directs the Space and Atmospheric Instrumentation Lab. I can't
buddy,
read it.
You Brits sure have some silly names.
Yeah, Mr. NASA engineer from the Wallops test facility. Oh, shall we talk about the dream I had where I was on a merchant crew and we ended up in Hyperborea?
No. Oh, well, yeah, if you want.
I had a dream this morning. This was the 2nd of April. Not like any other I've ever had. I was first mate on some small commercial ship. By the way, I've got no sailing experience.
Yeah.
We were sailing north from Iceland and ended up in Hyperborea. We set anchor in a disused dock and noticed that there were rusted bronze. Yeah, how'd you get rusty bronze? But anyway,
What does bronze do
artillery pointed at this. Well, I suppose it's like copper, it turns into verdigris.
Yeah.
Well, bronze statues don't really have verdigris on them. Oh, that's the copper statues. Don't know. Anyway, imagine rusty bronze guns. That's what I saw. And the artillery, these artillery guns, they're pointed at the sea, and there were bins which showing cans of Coke and Sprite. And the crew took heart in that even in this mystical land there was a product they could ship and trade. We travelled further up the shore and ended up in a small town. We didn't have any money. I wanted a haircut from a pretty but overworked hairdresser. I remember her blonde hair was very pale, almost silver, and she had piercing blue eyes. I tend not to notice the details of people's faces in dreams, and I found that odd. She said that if I'm still here in a few weeks, she would cut my hair. I found the captain and some of the crew in the bar. They were being given free drinks. Captain asked me to deal with the issue of payments, and I thought, how? We don't carry cash, and you can't wire money to Hyperborea. But then I thought, must do, as how else would they be shipping stuff in from the United States? Did they do it from a forwarding company in Iceland or Norway? Then I woke up. I didn't see anything remarkable about the architecture and don't remember docking. And that was my dream. I went to Hyperborea. Here's the thing. This is from Freeman. He posted this on Twitter. This picture is worth sharing on the chat, so I'll copy the image over so you can see it. Here it is, and I'll also paste the Twitter link. Now, the last time, this is something they didn't talk about in the eclipse, but the last time there was a total eclipse, the sun went up to full power, and they did this thing called the iScat rocket, and it made this strange spiral in the sky, which they've never explained how they've done, and sort of said, oh, it's just a bit of atmospheric turbulence. And like, how does atmospheric turbulence make this perfect spiral pattern with this sort of blue swirl in the centre of it? That makes no sense to me, none at all. But yeah, Freeman TV talked about it. I can't remember, when was the Norway iScat rocket? But anyway, reason we mention that is because during the total eclipse, CERN turned up to full power. And I heard someone say they released a plague of locusts from it, but I haven't heard any news about locusts spewing forth from Switzerland. Then again, when's the last time I heard any news coming out of Switzerland? They are a secretive bunch of people, and I don't trust them. They're very suspicious.
They do some very interesting tunnel opening ceremonies, don't they?
The iScat rocket was in 2009. And that's when the Large Hadron Collider ran at half capacity for the first time. A giant blue spiral appeared over Norway. And Barack Obama accepted his Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo, Norway, and gave a speech the following day in Oslo. Weird.
What, the old Lord of Flies? Barack Obama?
I thought it was weird that time when he was like in an interview and he was in the White House and he plucked this fly out of the air and showed it to people. Like, what's up with that? And he always seemed to have flies floating around him as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the stuff from the Fortean chat. I mean, there's other things in there too.
So they're going to start searching for the. There's a new TV show called Weird Britain or something. So they're going to start searching lakes for Excalibur.
Cool.
But as that guy from the anarcho-syndicalist commune in Holy Grail said, watery bints handing out swords is hardly a basis for a system of government, is it?
Oh no, it's better than the first past the post system we got now.
I think it's about the same, isn't it?
Well, like, it can't be worse than what we've got.
Yeah. Oh, Tales of Mysterious Giants still haunt Nevada's Lovelock Cave.
Oh yeah. It is an esoteric joke from you, right? So, imagine, you know Barclay from The Next Generation, he's going to see Councillor Troy.
Yeah.
So, Troy's saying, "Oh, you doing, Reg?" And he says, "I keep imagining that I'm a goat." Well, how long has this been going on? Ever since I was a kid.
Hey. I'll put it in. I'll put it in general. You can do this one.
Yes. Oh, The Case of Mysterious Giants. Yeah, let's read that then. I think I'm.
I think it's going to be our last story, isn't it? I think we're both tated, aren't we?
Yeah, tuck it out. Really dip me in doing that stuff. For some years, archaeologists have remained divided over the discovery of alleged giant skeletons and artifacts. Well, why should they be divided? You got the ones that are...
Well, they either are giant or they aren't.
Yeah, I mean, surely you can look at them and just go... No, they're not giant. They're just really, really big.
Yeah.
Measuring approximately 150 foot long and 35
between really, really big and giant?
It depends. Do you want to keep your tenure ship or something?
Yeah. Do you want to keep? Do you nice the job you got there? It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Yeah, it would be a shame if you were to post something that upsets the status quo.
Yeah.
Measuring approximately 150 foot long and 30 foot wide, Lovelock Cave, which is situated in Nevada's Great Basin region. Do you know a strange fact I heard the other day? Kentucky, or is it Tennessee, more caves than the rest of the world combined. How does that work out?
There's something like...
What's that?
If we're to believe that it's all true, that nobody lived in America and it was all empty and it doesn't quite sound like... It doesn't quite like... Why would nobody be living there? That's the thing that like, well, is there a very good reason that people don't live in America? I mean, you've seen what Yanks like you've seen what living there does to people, haven't you?
I sort of wondered the same thing about like Russia. Like, it's vast, but there's 140 million people living there, and most of them are in the European part. Like, there's this. And yeah, I know it gets pretty cold there, but the fact is it gets pretty cold in the European part as well, and people live there all year round.
Yeah.
And there's some parts of it get very warm. Why are there so few people in Russia?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I try and read stories about the conquest of the East, and it's like, oh yeah, there was Tartars and Siberians, and the Russians kept moving. It's like, These like Russians, they're quite poor, right? And normally to do conquest, you need armies, and armies cost money. So how was Russia doing all this stuff?
And why wasn't there like? Is just throw blokes forward, though, isn't it? That's military strategy. Throw blokes forward until the enemy runs out of people.
But why can't I find like detailed like stories of the eastern expansion of Russia and like? What went on, because it just, to me, it doesn't make, like, we got loads of stories about the western expansion of the pioneers, and you know how difficult the Oregon Trail was,
and how the Donner Party at each other.
Yeah. So it's just, but we don't have any stories about that, like with Russia, because that was happening around about the same time, by the way. So whilst there was like the Great Western expansion in the Americas, there was the Great Eastern expansion in Russia, and it's like, was, I mean, to the point where like Alaska was Russian territory, and then it was sold to the Americans because they're like, well, we've got enough land here. We'll give it to you. Yeah. So anyway, that said, a great deal of controversy has surrounded the alleged discovery of giant skeletons inside another evidence of a race of giant people who want to
controversy that they've found giant skeletons. Like, you found giant skeletons, that's it. Like there was controversy. There weren't massive controversy when they found dinosaur skeletons, was there?
Well, the controversy there is like, why do you keep calling dragons a dinosaur?
Yeah,
because these are dragon skeletons.
Yeah.
But we got to pretend that dragons never existed. But however, these creatures, dinosaurs, totally did.
Yeah.
What a load of bollocks. Oh, and you can't see any of the bones. They're all radioactive. Right. So these dragons, they didn't breathe fire and stuff. Well, why would their bones be radioactive? Like, that would have nothing to do with the strange magical properties of dragons, would it?
Mm.
So anyway, controversy there is by der-brained academics saying, well, this doesn't fit into our preconceived notions, therefore we're going to dismiss it.
Yeah.
Fucking dick. They're the most close-minded bigots of the lot of them. And they got the hypocrisy and the cheek to say, well, we are the pinnacle of human intelligentsia. We're the most open-minded and the quickest to adapt to new ideas. Are you fuck? The story goes back that in 1911, two miners who had entered the cave to excavate guano had unexpectedly unearthed around 6 human skeletons.
Why were the Yanks so obsessed with batshit?
Well, it's prior to the Faber process for making ammonia. That's how you made fertilizer and explosives. You got guano. They unexpectedly were about 60 human skeletons. Some of them they claimed were very large indeed, standing around 7 to 8 foot in height. Sadly, the whereabouts of these skeletons remains unknown, but in the years that followed...
Oh, well,
yeah,
it's not real then.
Never mind.
So we made
subsequent digs inside the cave yielded the discovery of a multitude of other finds. Well, many of these were nothing particularly unusual, such as arrowheads, basket weaves, and ceremonial objects. The artifacts also include more curious items, such as an enormous sandal that appeared to have been well used. Measuring 15 inches long, the sandal would be equivalent of a modern size 29 shoe.
Fucking hell.
It's that American size 29 or something, because, like,
yeah,
I think size 11 in American is equivalent to, like, size 19 or something. They got small feet in America. So, like, 15 inches long. What have I got a ruler in front of me? I think my feet are about 12 inches long, but then again, I'm a hobbit, so...
Right, so a size 14 is an EU 49.5, a US 15, and the foot length is 314 millimeters, it says here on ASOS.
That's about a foot long, yeah. So, I got a size 11, which is EU size 45. I wonder where they get. Why don't they just like base it on the centimeter? Like, if your foot's 30 centimeters long, you're a size 30.
Does shoe size equate to height? In
Does
any
it?
way at all?
Well, you could sort of like measure the feet of Dutch people and then measure the feet of Guatemalans and see which one's got the bigger ones. So a very large handprint that was double normal size was also
calculated. Someone's made
a very large handprint was double normal size was also found etched into the stone. So could this mean the tales of giants in the cave could actually have some merit?
So what size did you say it was? Size 29?
Size 29, yeah. 15 inches long.
I won't do
Radiocarbon dating has dated the various artifacts in the cave.
We'll see if we can guess what person... So if you're a size 10, you're 5'9" to 6 foot. So if you're a 15, you are 6'4" or taller.
Yeah, which is about right because well, they're just basing that like the tallest people 6'4", and you rarely get someone that's more than 6'4".
So what height would you reckon that would be then?
Eight foot tall.
Yeah.
Radiocarbon dating to the cave 2030 BC and 1218 BC. As things stand, without access to skeletons allegedly discovered back in the 1900s, we never know for sure if the cave's inhabitants are truly giants or not. Well, we know what happens. The Smithsonian in America and various other organisations in Europe, whenever you get giant skeletons, they either smash them up or they seize them and they never see the light of day again. 10-page UFO dossier released by Australia's Department of Defence.
Do you remember we did our show about the Grand Canyon and all that stuff that was found in there? The Smithsonian claimed to have lost about 4 or 5 truckloads of that.
Convenient that.
Because LOL.
Like any other organisation like that, like if they're a commercial organisation, it's like, well, look, the contract you've got is to do this, and you've failed like numerous times. They'd be bankrupt. But the Smithsonian's job is like, no, our mission is literally to cover up evidence, and they just get away with it, and we let them do it because no one really argues, and it's bullshit. Oh, total solar eclipse generates a series of bizarre conspiracy theories.
Yeah, go on then.
No, I'm not doing any more. I'm really hungry and tired.
You done?
I'm fed up.
Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robert Wadlow. Oh, Robert Wadlow was 8 foot and he had 11. He was 8 foot 11 inches. Don't know how big his shoes were, though, do we?
No.
Right. So, I've got things not working and stuff. So